Thank you, Senator Welch. Senator Blackburn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for being here. This is really pretty remarkable testimony coming from you all, listening to what you've had to say. Basically, we've got a broken system. You don't know how to fix it. Money's not going to solve this problem, Ms. Nanda. You don't know the numbers. You don't know the law to enforce the law. So what comes across is that we've got a Homeland Security team here that doesn't believe in securing the homeland because you don't care enough to go deep enough into the issue to be able to define the problem and be able to fix it. Now, Ms. Marcos, I'm going to come to you because I've written Secretary Becerra twice about these children that they just can't find. Now, first letter, he got Acting Assistant Secretary Jeff Hill to send a non-response to my office. And then I sent another letter, and I haven't heard anything from him. I have asked that he come to the committee and talk to us about what has happened with these 85,000 children, where they are, and why efforts are not being made to find them and to be certain that they are being cared for. But there's no response to that because there again, you all believe in open borders. Your goal is not to secure the country and the border. Your goal is to just let everybody come on in and to hell with this trying to find 85,000 kids. You didn't vet the sponsors right. You did not do an FBI background check. Imagine that. You loosen what is required of people, and then you want to come here and say, we need more money so we can do our job. All right, Ms. Director Marcos, Linda Brandmiller, do you know that name? And keep your mic on.
I'm aware of that name.
You're aware of that name. And Jaylyn Sulong, you know that name?
Yes.
Okay. And you know that both of these women were whistleblowers. And both of these women were fired for being a whistleblower. Are you aware of that?
Senator,
Quickly, my time's running out. Fast, go.
I'm not aware of the specifics.
You're not aware of the specifics. Do you know who approved this retaliation against the whistleblowers? You do not know.
Senator, I cannot speak to the specifics.
You can't speak to the specifics. Okay, was the secretary notified about the urgent situation developing in the department and that these children were being released to potentially exploitative sponsors? Did anybody pay attention to that? Or did you care? Was it 9 to 5, draw a paycheck, go on? We don't care. We're not concerned about an open border. We're not concerned about protecting children. What is your job? You're the Office of Refugee Resettlement. And you're not going to follow up on where these children are and who has custody of these children. Why did you accept the responsibility to be in charge if you're not going to do your job and protect these children? You don't have an answer to that. You don't know why you accepted the responsibility.
Senator, I would be happy
this is why we need the secretary
about this, but
to
you're
come.
not giving me an opportunity.
Oh, no, I gave you this. Tell me, why did you take the job?
I took the job because I'm a humanitarian. I've spent my life
You're
in this
a humanitarian who can't find 85,000 children and don't give a ripping flip about where they are or what is going on in their precious lives. Is that what you're telling me?
That is a mischaracterization of everything that we do. I have tried to explain, but I am not given the opportunity.
Take the time, 25 seconds.
Thank you. I appreciate that. When a child is released from our care, there are a number of ways that they can continue to receive services. We attempt the safety and well-being call for every child who's been released. There is no obligation for a child or a sponsor to answer the call, and there's reasons why they may not want to answer a call from the government.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, they're being paid to take these children, and there's no reason for them to answer the phone?
They're not being paid to take these children. Sorry. May I finish, please?
Yeah, they are. Go ahead.
They also, post-release services, over 50% of our children, we are working hard to get post-release services for all children. We are over 50% right now. That is another way to have a trusted adult in these children's lives. Legal services is another way, and we are expanding. We are providing more legal services
my
than
time
we ever.
has expired, and your answers are incomplete. I've got 2 more questions. I will submit for the record. Mr. Morant, I have one for you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Blackburn. At this point, I want to make sure that Ms. Marcos or someone else on the panel has an opportunity to answer in complete sentences questions about the 85,000 that were mentioned in the New York Times piece. Would someone like to take that on for 60 seconds?
Thank you, Senator, for the opportunity to provide full thoughts on that. There are a number of ways that we engage with children once they have been released from our care. One way is the safety and well-being call that is made 30 to 37 days after they've been released. There is no obligation for a child or sponsor to answer this call, and there are a number of reasons why they might not want to answer a call from government. We also have a number of other touch points, some of them lighter than others. We have the ORR National Call Center. That is a call center that is operated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that takes calls from children, from sponsors, from anyone in the community that has a concern or a question about an unaccompanied child. So that call center is available. And then, as I mentioned, we are providing more legal and post-release services in the history of the program. We are very dedicated to continuing to expand that with the support of Congress, and we do feel that it will make a difference by making sure that every one of these children has that trusted adult outside of the sponsor-family relationship. Thank you.
Thank you. Next senator up is history in the making. Her first appearance before the Senate Judiciary Committee, succeeding Senator Dianne Feinstein. As I said at the outset, this was an issue, the fate of these children, near and dear to the heart of the late senator. And I know you come to this meeting today with the same feelings. So we welcome you, Senator Butler. Please proceed.
Thank you so much, Chair Durbin. As noted, as a senator from a border state, a former labor organizer, and a mom to a 9-year-old, not only am I eager to continue the leadership of Senator Feinstein on this issue, I find it imperative that we have this conversation. I want to appreciate the chair for bringing us all together to do that important work. Contrary to what we may have heard, the struggle to protect migrant children is not new. We see it under both Democratic and Republican-controlled administrations. My hope today is that we can agree on the fact that no matter what party is in power, our job is to do our part to protect these migrant children. This means listening to experts, giving agencies the resources they need, and holding companies accountable for violating our labor laws. I look forward to working with my colleagues to find bipartisan solutions, and I appreciate all of you for your testimony as I have read all of your prepared remarks and look forward to a discussion. I would love to turn my attention, Ms. Marcos, to the topic that you were just speaking on, post-release services. As you know, legal representation is vital for children attempting to navigate our complicated immigration system. We've heard reports of children as young as 2 years old, being asked to represent themselves in our immigration courts because they are not provided with counsel by the government. Some of my colleagues may not believe that government should provide counsel to all immigrant children, even those who are barely old enough to speak. Can you talk about the impact that it makes on migrant children to have the types of legal services and supports?
There are children all ages in our care. We know that it's extremely important to help children successfully navigate the system, that they have legal representation. We also know that children are more likely to show up for their court hearing if they have legal representation. Most of the children screened while in ORR care actually would have a pathway, and we could move things if we had more legal service providers. And we are working and we're expanding. Every child in our care gets a Know Your Rights presentation, and they also get a legal screening while they are in our care. Once they're discharged, there is a referral. What we don't have yet is sufficient funding and resources to make sure that every child maintains legal representation once they're discharged from our care.
Thank you for that. Let me quickly turn to Mr. Morant. Mr. Morant, I understand that H.R. 2, House Republican Bill H.R. 2, would decimate an important form of immigration relief known as special immigrant juvenile status. Can you speak to the importance of having pathways like T visas and special immigrant visa status, juvenile status, to child trafficking survivors, and what we're likely to see if legislation like that were actually able to succeed?
Thank you for that question. The department takes a victim-centered approach, and we'd like to provide every tool possible to aid victims in their path to recovery. Your specific question pertains to another agency within the department, so I would need to take that back.
Thank you. Last question, I talked about the impact of this topic on my own state of California, with California consistently being one of the top 3 states receiving unaccompanied minors. In 2020, Governor Newsom created the first state-funded project aimed at providing post-release services to migrant children called Opportunities for Youth. The services provided through this project include case management, navigation, mentorship, wellness programs to support children, as well as services to their caregivers. Ms. Marcos, can you talk about what kind of services ORR offers to the 43% of children who receive post-relief support from the federal government? And do programs like the one in California actually help to support the federal government's efforts?
Thank you, Senator, for that question and the opportunity to talk further about what it means to have a trusted adult in a child's life and comprehensive services as these children are adjusting to a new community. Just the other day, I was speaking to someone who provides post-release services, and they talked about how that service has enabled to prevent family breakdowns or to prevent the child from leaving. And so to have those comprehensive case management services, similar to what we do with new arrivals through the refugee program, really makes a difference in these children being allowed to be children and attend school and flourish in their new community. And absolutely what California is doing is very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield time.
begin to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Afternoon, we lay